So Cal's really encouraged by my progress. It's responding well, and I would like to think that that has to do with a lot of the other work that I'm doing. So guys, remember this is the most important thing. If you're going to see someone, that doesn't mean that you are off the hook with your own self-care and treatment and strength and mobility. They really go together. I'm doing all the work that I can do to help loosen up my calves and my ankles, and Hal is providing extra work that I can't provide myself, and the two of those things go together. So if you start to see someone or rely on a physio, that doesn't get you off the hook of your own work. In fact, we're gonna go home right now. I'm gonna show you all the exercises that I'm doing at home to reinforce the work that I'm doing with Hal so that I can really nip this thing in the bud and get back out running up to full speed very soon. All right, so I'm back at home and I want to show you some of the things that I've been doing to reinforce the Achilles self-treatment. And I've got a few toys here. I have my Voodoo Floss band. I've got my bigger foam roller, which I kind of use for my hamstrings and a little bit of my calves. And then I've got this roller, which I like to roll out my feet and my calves a little bit more. So I'm going to start with my band here, and what I like to do with this, and this is called a Voodoo Floss band. You can buy just by typing online. I think Rogue Fitness sells them. I'm gonna wrap my feet, and my left Achilles is one that's hurt, but I'm just gonna show you. Man, I almost snapped myself in the face. Be careful out there. I like to wrap this guy pretty tight, and I start at the bottom of the foot here, wrap around the arch, getting in here. Then I like to wrap around the heel as I go, making sure that this kind of curls this way. I found that this one is just practice in terms of wrapping. I don't think there's any, I'm sure there's you know, what I've basically learned is how I like to wrap just by tweaking and experimenting. But I wrap further up into the Achilles and the calf, and then I wrap back down around the instep of the foot and then block this thing off. And what I love about this thing is that it's not just me adding pressure like I would on a foam roller, but it adds a ton of compression, and when I add a little bit of movement, it's almost like a little bit of active release therapy where I'm just letting these different tendons, muscle fibers sort of move as I go through different range of motion. I like to kind of work my toes and my calves this way. I like to kick my hips up, back and forth, and I even like to just, you know, kind of squat regularly, kind of working through here, and even just sort of walking around, doing some toe raises. I leave this on for about a minute or two, and when I take it off, it brings a bunch of blood back in, and then it just shows me where I was potentially restricted in different areas, and it just helps eliminate some of those restrictions. I wrap pretty tight, but as you get comfortable with this, you figure out how much you want to wrap or not. Then I take this off. So this is something that I do at least every other day. Both feet, I don't just treat my injured side, I treat my healthy side. I wrap this guy off, then I can start to see the blood flow come back in. That is step number one of my own self-treatment. The next thing I'll work on will be a little bit of rolling of the calves themselves. All right, so next piece I'm gonna be working on my calves here. I've got this roller, which I really, really love for getting into here. I think this is a trigger point roller. It's like a little soft, but it's just a smaller diameter, so I feel like I can get in there a little bit more. And I'm really gonna target this lower part of this calf, you know, not necessarily on the Achilles if the Achilles is sore, but I'm gonna work a little bit above it. And I like to start kind of on the inside, working some circles here, and just kind of working my way up as I start to progress here. And, you know, the middle as well of this calf, and then I'm gonna work on this outer side part too. So notice I'm not just kind of rolling back and forth this way. I'm gonna go inside, middle, and outside, and I'm gonna find some different areas that are tight. I find that if I can pin this top foot on the back side and whoo, add a little extra pressure, and then some movement with my ankle, I can really get into some tight spots. If I find a spot that's particularly tight, I'm gonna bookmark that and spend a little bit more time to try to get it to release. I'm gonna work my way all the way up the calf. So I spend a couple minutes on either side, really, really good, just to get different aspects. You know, what's going on further down here is very different from what's going on up here. So it's a good sense to get to know yourself by just spending time in different areas and working there. And all of this is important for the Achilles because I might have something that's tight up here that is affecting this, right? So I can double whammy, I can leave this alone, give this a little bit of a rest, but work further up the chain to really help out my calf and my whole situation. All right, last piece. We're all the way down here because we're gonna work on the feet. I've got my roller. Now, I like this guy, but literally I could use a lacrosse ball or anything else. Sometimes I like this because I can apply a little bit more pressure along the edge of my foot, kind of get this outside edge here without that lacrosse ball sort of slipping. So I might do some kind of warm up back and forth this way. But what I'm gonna kind of work on too is just rolling in and out through the whole bottom of this foot. I'm gonna go underneath the 1st to 5th metatarsals this way. And then I'm gonna kind of, spend some time, maybe first just kind of working through this outside edge. Good. Then working through the arch as well. And I like to kind of add a little wiggle. I could bend those toes and flex them back up again. I could get into the heel. Really, really good, valuable stuff here. And I just kind of love opening and closing and just finding different spots. Spending 2-3 minutes per side is really helpful. Just again, to kind of show you from the side. I may find that there's kind of some stuff in my heel and my insertion point. A lot of times if you're dealing with anything in this, posterior tibialis side, this medial chain, you can get some effects that go down into this edge. So going in here is just so good. And again, 2-3 minutes per side. Whew. It kind of gets those feet going a lot more for us. And I'm gonna be a little bit ready to go. So remember, I've got my work with Hal. I'm reinforcing that work by getting down here on the floor and working a little bit. I try to do this when I'm watching a little Netflix at night. I'm just chilling. Takes me about 15-20 minutes, but it just reinforces everything else and keeps my calves healthy and keeps my Achilles on track. All right, so finally, I gotta work on my heel raises and my eccentric calves. And this is something that Hal's had me do, where I'm gonna go up on 2 legs and I'm gonna drop an eccentric down on the left. So I'm really focusing on that left side, doing about 10 on one, trying to count for 2-3 seconds of the way down. And then, let's pretend I've done 10. I'm gonna go ahead and do this other side as well. This was work that I wasn't necessarily doubling down in the gym on, so super important to do. I'm a couple days in, starting to feel pretty good progress. I'll let you guys know how it goes, but that's been another key part of my strength, has been just those eccentric calf raises. All right, I'm just gonna keep this ball rolling here and work on these hamstrings. Speaking of, hopefully guys, you liked this video. If you did, hit that like button down below. That helps us out so much. Any comments or questions on the strategies we hit today? I'm really just scratching the surface on things you can do for your Achilles. These were some of the things in my favor. Drop them down below. Any requests for future videos on other body parts? Would love to make some cool content for you guys because that's what we are here for. Of course, subscribe to our channel, guys, because we got great stuff. Whew, a little muscle knot right there. On our channel all the time, training content, running workouts, strength and injury prevention, interviews, nutrition, we got it all. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that little alarm and that notification so you be the first to get those videos that come out each every week. And speaking of, guys, I gotta keep filming. Something funny about those videos that come out each every week. We gotta keep getting them out there to you. So I will see you in the next one.